So, what if the secrets to success aren't really secrets at all? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the habits of the world's highest achievers. We're going to distill everything down into a simple framework you can start using, well, right now.
And that's really the big question we're tackling, isn't it? The habits we're about to cover, they're not locked away in some vault. They're out there, in the open, for anyone who's willing to actually do the work consistently. You know, this quote just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly frames what we're talking about. We all kind of know what we should be doing, right? Eat better, manage our time, whatever. But knowing and doing are two totally different things. The real magic happens when you turn that common sense into your common practice. Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. We've got 4 pillars that all build on each other. First, we'll lay the foundation with your mindset. Then, we'll fire up the engine, your brain and body. After that, we'll plug into the network of people and ideas. And finally, we'll bring it all home with execution, actually taking action.
First up, your mindset. We call this the foundation for a pretty simple reason. Every single thing you achieve out in the world, it starts as a victory inside your own head. You have to win the inner game before you can win the outer one.
Okay, this is a big one. Let's talk about killing ants. And no, not the insects. We're talking about automatic negative thoughts. Now, here's the wild part. Your brain doesn't actually know the difference between something you vividly imagine and something that's really happening. So if you're constantly replaying a fear, like totally bombing a big presentation, you are literally practicing failure. Successful people they flip the script. They use that same mental power to visualize what success looks like, basically rewiring their brains for the win.
All right, next habit, being obnoxiously curious. I love this phrase. Entrepreneur Dan Martell says that asking why is basically a superpower. Why did that sale happen? Why didn't it? Why do we do things this way? And maybe the most important one, why do I think this way? It's not about being annoying. It's about digging deeper to build better mental models so you can spot the opportunities that everyone else just walks right past.
So, let's move on to our second pillar, the engine. That's your brain and body. Because look, a killer mindset is great, but it needs a high-performance machine to run on. This is all about fueling up for the journey. Now, this is a total game changer. Amateurs manage their time. Professionals manage their energy. I mean, think about it, right? You get 24 hours in a day, same as everyone else. But what good is that if you only have like 4 hours of real focused energy? High performers are ruthless about protecting their energy. They put everything on the calendar, not just work meetings, but workouts, family time, even rest. It's all treated like a non-negotiable appointment with themselves. And of course, energy starts with fuel. For your brain, some fuels are just better than others. Think of blueberries as your brain's little bodyguards against stress. Avocados are like the construction workers building healthy brain cells. And dark chocolate, that's your focus booster. It's really that simple. What you put in your mouth directly affects what comes out of your mind.
And we absolutely cannot talk about the body's engine without talking about sleep. This isn't just downtime, okay? It's a super active process. First, it's where your brain files away all the important stuff you learned during the day. Second, it's like a power washing crew for your brain, cleaning out all the gunk that leads to aging. And third, it's a creativity machine. It's crazy to think about, but Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and Paul McCartney's song Yesterday, both of them literally came from dreams. Your brain is solving problems for you while you're asleep.
All right, now for pillar number 3, the network. Your mindset is dialed in, your body is fueled up. Now it's time to plug into the world. Because, let's be real, nobody succeeds all by themselves. Success is always a team sport.
You've probably heard this quote a million times, but it's not just a nice saying. It is literal brain science. We have these things called mirror neurons that make us subconsciously copy the habits and attitudes of the people around us. It's why if you hang out with 9 negative people, you're probably going to become the 10th. Successful people get this, so they are incredibly intentional about who they let into their circle.
But, okay, how do you actually build that network? Well, it starts with just one conversation. Dan Martell gives this super practical 4-step script. Like, hi, my name is Dan. I help software CEOs get growth in their business with our perfect exit strategy. Boom. See how clear that is? It's not just what you do, it's who you help, what they get, and your unique way of doing it. It just begs for a follow-up question.
And as you're building that network, you're going to want feedback. But listen up, this is so important. Only ask the right people. Your mom loves you, she's great, but unless she's your ideal customer, her opinion on your new product, it doesn't really matter. You have to get feedback from the people you actually want to serve. If you don't, you'll end up building something that everyone kind of likes, but nobody actually buys.
And that brings us to the final and honestly the most crucial pillar, taking action. You can have the best mindset, all the energy in the world, and an amazing network, but if you don't do anything, it's all worthless. This is where the rubber meets the road.
Look, the world doesn't reward you for having great ideas, it rewards you for acting on them. That's the whole point of default to action. It's about beating that paralysis of waiting for the perfect time or the perfect plan. High performers know it's way better to make a pretty good decision right now and fix it along the way than to wait forever for a perfect decision that's never going to come. They act despite the fear, not because they don't have any.
Here's a simple rule to live by. Whatever you measure expands. You can't improve what you don't track. When Dan Martell wanted visible abs, he didn't just wish for them. He tracked his macros and workouts every single day. When he wants to grow his business, he gets a daily email about his cash flow. The principle is dead simple. The things you pay close attention to are the things that grow.
You know that feeling, right? You're staring at this massive goal and you just feel totally overwhelmed and stuck? This is the tool for that exact moment. It's called MINS, your most important next step. Forget the entire staircase. Just ask yourself, what is the one single tiny physical thing I can do in the next 5 minutes to get moving? That's it. That one small win is all you need to get the flywheel spinning again.
So that brings us to the end. We've walked through the whole framework, from mindset all the way to execution. Now the only thing left to do is to turn all this knowing into doing. So as you look at this question, don't just think about it. Really answer it. What is your one single action, your one habit that you can start today? That is your most important next step.